Hi, Assalamualaikum. We are from Group Alpha Section 1. So we are going to present about hazard study at Saleh Food Industry.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So my name is Muhammad Zain Azhari bin Zainal Azlan. So I will be explaining about the purpose and the hazard study result for this presentation. So for the first purpose is to identify potential hazard and operability issues associated with the silent food industry Sendirian Berhad, and then to protect personnel from potential dangers associated with food processing operation, and lastly to improve the operability of the facility by addressing and mitigating risks that could disrupt or hinder small operation.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Muhammad Alif Najmi bin Kaidir, matrix number DD210065. The scope for our project is to study of handling raw material, examining procedure and equipment involved in processing the product, also include the potential risk associated. Next, examine the unit operation of the facility that include peeling, cutting, washing, frying, and packaging. The last one is inspect the design and operation of process and equipment used in the industry that will help to identify potential deviation that could lead to hazard.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Akram bin Ahmad Fazri, matrix number DD210072. So the objective of our project is first to identify and analyze potential hazards from the operation of a process. Number two, to prevent the identification hazard and deviation. And last, to study the purpose of hazard study on industrial. So this is our organization chart for hazard team. Uh, the leader for our team is Aiman, and then Zahin as a assistant leader. Next, Alif as a process engineer, Ikmal as a safety engineer, and me Akram as a maintenance engineer.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Aiman bin Zadi Muhammad Yazid and my metric number is DD210067. Okay. For the hazard notes, there are 6 notes that I have stated in the report, which is the first one is peeling. For the filling, there are two guide words, which is less and high. And for the less, there are two of deviation, which is the first one is less rotational of the roller, and the second one is less thickness of the sandpaper. For the first possible cause of the deviation, which is the less rotation of the roller, it is the insufficient power source or too many loads. The consequence is less friction between the potato and the sandpaper roller. The action that should be taken is increase the power supply and reduce the load according to the motor capability. For the second one, the possible cause might be to the less maintenance, which cause the potato are not peeled perfectly or evenly. So to counter this deviation, maintenance should be done consistently. And for the height, deviation is the height rotational of the roller, which the possible cause might be due to the less number of the load or the air, which cause the with consequence to the unevenly peeled potato or poor quality of the raw material. The action that should be taken is adjust the perfect speed of the motor based on the number of the load that has been put in the machine. For the second note, which is cutting, the guide word is also two, which is less and no. For the deviation less, it is a less speed, which might cause due to the insufficient power source, which might cause the machine could not cut the potato. The action that should be taken is increase the power supply of the machine. The second one is no, which is the deviation is no alignment, which might cause due to the dual blade or loose screw. So the consequence is the poor quality of the chips that has been cut or variant in the chip size. The action that should be taken is replace the blade or tighten the screw. While for the rinsing, there are also two guide words, which is less and high, which for the deviation might be less water supply, which might cause due to the pump problem and limited water source. The consequence that might cause is the insufficient cleaning of the potato or the product are polluted. The action that should be taken is do a maintenance on the pump or ensure the clean source of water supply. While for the height deviation, it is a height flow rate which might cause due to the pump speed not matching the production speed and the flow rate was incorrectly set. So the consequence is the potato do not have the proper cleaning, and the action that should be taken is change the pump or operator must constantly check the flow rate of the water. Next, drying. There are also two guidewords, which is for the less deviation is less wind speed, which the possible cause might be due to the insufficient power supply or broken blower. The consequence is the sliced potato is still damp, and the action that should be taken is increase the power supply or replace the boiler and do the maintenance. For the height deviation, it is high wind speed. The possible cause is the speed blower was set incorrectly, which caused the potato chip fly away. And the action that need to be taken is adjust the suitable speed for drying a potato chip. Then frying, there are also two guidewords, which is for the deviation less, there are two, which is the first one is less temperature, which caused by the time for the oil to heat too short, which caused the potato chip not cook evenly. The action that should be taken to increase the heat of the oil. And the second one is less oil. The possible cause is the operator did not check the level of the oil or the level indicator not functioning, which caused the potato chip overcook. And the action that should be taken is increase the frequency of the maintenance inspection. While for the more deviation, it is a more oil in the tank. The operator did not check the level of the oil and the level indicator not functioning is the cause. And the consequence is the oil splatter, which the action that should be taken is before heating the tank, check the oil level. And lastly, for the packing, there are only one guide word, which is more. The deviation is more unwanted item, which the possible cause is a human error and inconsistent in quality control. The consequence is low quality of the final product, and the action that should be taken is increase the quality control of the product. Next, we move to the deviation, which there are six deviations that follow the nose, which is the first one is peeling process. The deviation may include to the variance in the quality of incoming potato due to the factor like irregular size or inconsistent peeling. Then, the potential deviation in the cutting process include a difference in the cutting blade or speed or alignment. And next one is the washing or rinsing process that may center around the water flow rate, which cause the ranging from pump problem to water supply obstruction. And the next one is an unevenly drying process or strong wind from the blower may cause some of the potato chip to fly away from the appropriate procedure. After that, the frying process is a crucial node where the oil temperature variance might occur owing to equipment failure. And finally, the potential deviation in the packaging process might include the presence of unwanted item in the packaging line.
Name is Ahmad Iskandar bin Rahim, metric number DD210063. Okay, so for the consequences, for each deviation, the consequences can be divided by three types, which is safety, environmental impact, and production. Okay, so for the first deviation, which is irregular size or inconsistent peeling, for safety consequences, it can be result in unforeseen bottlenecks. For the environmental impact, increased waste of materials. For the production, disrupt the production process. For the next deviation, which is differences in the cutting blade speed or alignment. For the safety consequences, raising the possibility of mishaps. For the environmental impact, ineffective use of energy, and production, inconsistent quality of the product. Next, deviation in washing process. For the safety consequences, it can result in not truly rinse. For the environmental impact, result in using excessive detergent or water, and for the production resulting in reject or inferior products. Next, deviation, which is uneven drying process or a strong wind from the blower. For the safety consequences, blow loose items or debris out of the blowers. Next, for the environmental impact, result in increased energy usage. And for the production, cost variance in the quality of the product. For the fifth deviation, which is oil temperature variance during the frying process. For the safety consequences, it may result in uneven cooking or spattering. For the environmental impact, quicker to break down the frying oil. And for the production, impact the fried items quality and consistency. Okay, so for the last deviation, which is deviation in packaging process. For the safety consequences, it lead to the products becoming contaminated. For the environmental impact, result in excessive material utilization. And lastly, for the production, may compromise the integrity of the product. Next, for the safeguards and recommendation for each deviation. So for the first deviation, which is irregular size or inconsistent peeling, the safeguard is maintain accuracy and alignment of the machinery for reliable result by calibrating it on a regular basis. For the recommendation, regularly inspect the product to find anomalies early in the process of production. Next, differences in the cutting blade speed or alignment. For the safeguard, periodically adjust the cutting machinery's calibration to keep the blade alignments and speeds constant. For the recommendation, keep cutting equipment well maintained and aligned to guarantee optimal performance. Next, deviation in washing process. The safeguard is maintaining the equipment in washing machines or on a regular basis will help to guarantee peak performance and stop deviation. Next, for the recommendation, create and adhere to thorough SOPs that specify the stage, deadlines, and materials needed for the washing process. Next, uneven drying process or a strong wind from the blower. The safeguard for the deviation is regularly adjust blower calibration to regulate wind direction and speed. For the recommendation, install barriers or change the position of blowers to control the direction and intensity of the wind, reducing its impact on surrounding area. For the next deviation, which is oil temperature variance during the frying process, the safeguard is install automated heat leveling systems to keep the oil within a constant temperature range. And for the recommendation, make sure fried goods adhere to temperature related criteria by sampling them frequently to ensure uniformity and quality. And lastly, the deviation in packaging process. The safeguard is seek input from customers and employees to determine where the packaging procedures need to be improved. And for the recommendation, create a thorough SOPs that describe the steps involved in packaging, including the materials, technique, and quality assurance.
So this is the process flow diagram for potatoes production at Saleh Food Industries. At the phase 1, the fresh potatoes will be placed into 2 peeling machines. So inside the peeling machines, there is some water to encourage the smooth peeling operation. The peeled potato nets will go through the cutting process. They will be inserted into a cutting machine and sliced into pieces. And then the potato will be submerged into the rinse machine, where water jets will spray the potatoes to clean and eliminate any remaining dirt on the surface of the potatoes. And then the rinsed potato slice are dried to eliminate surface moisture. So the drying process is crucial to achieving the crispy chips during frying. And then the dried potato slices are then fried in heated oil until it achieves the required golden color and crispy texture. And last, the final process is systematic packaging, in which the seasoned or unseasoned chips are preciously weighed and packed in the packaging that maintain freshness and avoid environmental exposure. So for the major equipment that used in the potato chips production at the Saleh Food Industries, the first is the peeling machine. So this machine works effectively, quickly and efficiently to automate the laborious operation. It can peel huge quantities of potatoes at the one time, so it can save time. And then it ensure the potatoes have consistent and appealing look. And last, it allows simple cleaning, adding to the overall efficiency and cleanliness of food processing facilities. Number two is the cutting machine. So this machine chop entire potato into thin, consistent slice. It provide a constant thickness and shape of the potato slice by using sharp blades or cutting discs. It also can handle huge amounts of potatoes at one time, so it reducing the time and labor needed for manual cutting. So next is the rinsing machine. This machine eliminates excess surface starch in a systematic way. The procedure is fast and consistently prevents the potatoes slices into from sticking into each other. So it's providing optimum separation and avoiding difficulties during the frying process. Okay, next we have drying machines. The function of this machine is to remove water from the surface of the potato slices. So these machines utilize a continuous and intermittent conveying system. So the chip is equally distributed and flipped over due to the discontinuous change in speed and height of the mesh bed, so that the surface is evenly exposed to wind. Last, we have the frying machine. So this machine will immersing the potato slices in hot oil to achieve the ideal texture and flavor. So this allows a quick and consistent frying process, resulting in a crispy and golden chips. Its control and constant heating, along with quick oil circulation. So the frying process will become a perfect to achieve the golden potato chips.
Okay, I will continue for the hazard study result. For note 1, we have the for rinsing process, we have 4 deviation from 2 keyword, which is no and more of. So for the first one is no flow. The cause is too many potatoes were placed at once, and then we have block. For the consequence, we have the blockage in pipe, and then the action that need to be taken is set an amount of potatoes to be placed in the rinser, and lastly for the safeguard, make a maximum mark on the machine as a limit sign. And then we have a leakage on pipe. The consequence will make the pipe burst, and then action need to be taken is replace with the new pipe, and the safeguard is check the mechanical properties to ensure that the suitability of the pipe with the process. And then we have the high polluted water. It will cause the pipe to be corrosion, and then the consequence will make the washes rinses potatoes contain bacteria, and the action that need to be taken is the same from the leakage on pipe, which is replaced with new pipe, and the safeguard is check the mechanical properties to ensure the suitability with the process. And then lastly, we have the high absorption of water in potatoes. The cause is rinsing for too long and it will make the potatoes absorb a lot of water. So to prevent this, we need to use a timer or change the timer if the timer is broken down. And if the timer is broken down, we need to calibrate the timer. So for node 2, which is cutting process, we have two deviation, which is thick potatoes and less peak. So for thick potatoes, it is caused from the blunt blade and it will make the potatoes not cut in a desired thickness. So to prevent this, we need to change or sharpen the blade. And for the safeguard is handle the blade carefully to avoid injury. And then less speed, it is caused from low source energy, and it will make the potatoes cannot be cut. And then the action that need to be taken is increase power supply. So when we want to increase the power supply, we need to handle the electrical component with dry hand and wear glove. And then for node 3, which is peeling process, the first deviation is machine breakdown. It is because of too many potatoes were placed in one time and it will make the peeler machine stuck. So the action that need to be taken is put potatoes not more than three quarter of the capacity, and we should make a limit mark for the machine. And then less potatoes skin remove. It is caused from low speed rotation of knife blade, and the consequence is low quality peeled potatoes will be obtained. So the action need to be taken is increase the rotation speed of the peeling machine. For the safeguard is ask the professional, which is the engineer, to set the suitable rotation speed. And lastly, less potato peeled evenly. This is because the shape and size of the potatoes that were placed are not same, and this will make the skin of the potatoes not peeled evenly. So the action is place the same size and same shape of the potatoes at one time and classify the potatoes according to the shape and size to make the work easier. So for node 4, we have for drying process. So the first deviation is no flow. It is because from heat tube burst. So the consequence will make no steam flow, and the action is replace tube with a new one. The safeguard is check the mechanical properties of the pipe to ensure that the tube is suitable with the process. And then we have for the second deviation and third deviation is high temperature and low temperature. The cause are the same, which is temperature transmitter malfunction. And for the high temperature, the consequence will make the potatoes over dry. But for the low temperature, it will make the potatoes to take a long time to dry. And then the action is the same, which is repair the temperature transmitter or change with a new one. And for the safeguard, we ask the engineer or the professional to replace or change with a new one. And then for note 5, we have the frying process. The first deviation is low oil level. The cause is because of worker does not top up the oil. So the consequence is the potato chips are not fried evenly. So in order to prevent this, we need to increase the original oil level, and we should always check the oil level. And then we have too much color variation is because of too many potato chip to be fried at the same time, and it will make the fry basket overload. So in order to prevent this, we should put potatoes only half of the capacity. So the safeguard is make a maximum mark limit for the workers. And then the third deviation is potato chips are too dark. It is because of fry time too long, and the consequence for that is potatoes chip are burnt. And the action need to be taken is cooking to proper time or temperature, and the safeguard is set a suitable frying time as a guidance. And lastly, you have dirty oil. It is because of using the same oil for fry every time. And then the consequence is dangerous to human health. And the action need to be taken to prevent this is change or filter or add new oil. So the safeguard is make sure to replace the filter if cannot be cleaned and change the oil if it has been used many times or it is turned to dark color. So lastly, we have note C, which is packing process. So the deviation is a lot of fermented potato chips. It is because of the plastic seal not completely vacuum, and the consequence from that is a lot of damaged potato chips will be produced. They will be packed, and the action need to be taken is repair the seal machine or change it with a new one. And for the safeguard is we will ask the maintenance engineer to take action to repair the seal machine. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.
For note one recommendation, our group recommend that use batch processing strategy, which is introduce batch processing for efficient handling of large quantity, which split big batch into smaller manageable chunks to prevent overloading, and consider using speed control, especially for larger batch, to preserve efficiency. Next is leak resolution in potato machine. The recommendation for this problem is immediately notify maintenance and supervisory staff to assess the situation. Next is not to recommendation for the blunt blade resolution is to follow manufacturer instruction for changing the blade or use an authorized instrument for sharpening based on the severity of bluntness. Next is regularly check the blade and establish a maintenance timetable to identify problems early and prevent a decline in cutting performance. So next is quality control after blade repair recommendation. First is check sliced potato for quality control after the blade is repaired and make necessary adjustment to ensure the best possible product quality. For note 3 recommendation, which is peeling process, first loading capacity guideline. Instruct operator to rigorously follow the loading capacity guideline provided by the manufacturer. For our next recommendation, to use batch processing technique that break up large number into smaller batch using batch processing technique, and then monitoring device and sensor. Implement monitoring device including volume detecting sensor and adjust batch size or machine setting as necessary to ensure uniformity in processing. Note for recommendation, our group recommend that regular maintenance and inspection program, which is establish regular maintenance and inspection program for temperature sensor and heat tube. Next is stocking extra part, which is keep extra parts such as heat tubes and temperature sensor on hand to make it easier and reducing downtime to repairs. And lastly is additional safety measure. Provide employee training on safe equipment handling and emergency response procedure. Next is not fire recommendation, which is a frying process. Temperature control and oil management. Consistently check and adjust the temperature inside the fryer to align with ideal frying setting. And keep frying oil fresh by filtering and refilling it regularly to avoid longer fry times and darker chips. Our next recommendation is fryer cleaning and timer setup. So maintain optimal heat transfer and prevent prolonged fry times through routine cleaning, including heating components and fry basket. Next is set up an alarm and timer on the fryer to notify operator when the predetermined fry time is up. Lastly, note 6 recommendation, which is a packaging process. The recommendation for this note is vacuum sealing parameter, which is check and modify vacuum sealing parameter such as vacuum pressure and sealing time on packaging equipment. Next is regular maintenance schedule. Establish a regular maintenance schedule for the sealing apparatus to ensure a good packaging.
In conclusion, the hazard and operability studies HAZOP approach continues to be an essential foundation for risk management and evaluation in many industries. HAZOP looks closely at operational procedures in order to find any deviations, risks, or possible hazards that can jeopardize production efficiency, environmental integrity, or safety. This methodical technique promotes a proactive risk reduction by enabling groups to come up with preventive strategies, improve operational understanding, and strengthen safety procedures. In addition, in addition to being an essential instrument for risk mitigation, HAZOP promotes a continuous improvement culture and process optimization to increase productivity and dependability. All things considered, HAZOP is a fundamental component of successful risk management plans, guaranteeing safer, more sustainable and productive operations by anticipating risks and adhering to industry norms. So that's all from our group. Thank you.